Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to do text on a path. Now, according to Photoshop, you can use the pen tool or you can use shapes. Now, we haven't talked about the pen tool, but I'm just going to show you quickly how to use it because we're going to use the shapes in this lesson. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I have two layers, a plane layer and the background layer. I'm just going to create a new layer first. I'm not going to name it for, just for sakes. I'm going to select the pen tool and then I'm going to click and then just basically draw a quick path. Once you have the path, you can select the text tool, and then you'll see that your regular text cursor will change, your type cursor will change into this weird looking thing here with a little I-beam in the middle. Once you see that, click on the path and then type anything you want. So we're just going to type some stuff here. It isn't going to matter. And then I'm going to press the check mark. And when I do this, you're going to see how it followed the path. And you'll notice that on the path panel is usually associated with the layers and the channels. You'll see that you have your work path. Now, if this path bothers you, just click off and the path will go away. Click on it again, it comes back. If you do not rename this italicized path, it will not be saved. So you could double click on it and just use a default name if you wanted to, or you can make it, name it if you want, so that maybe you can save it or use it in another file. So let me go ahead and click off this, and then let me erase it actually, because we're not going to do that one. And let me go here. Okay, let me pick a new layer, and then let me use the shapes. Shapes are interesting. We're going to talk about this in another lesson. I have the ellipse. You have custom shapes, lines, all kinds of things that you can use. Here you have shape layers, paths, and fill pixels. We're going to use the middle one, and then we're just going to draw a circle basically. So you click, hold, and draw a circle. Well, it's not really a circle until you press the shift key, which will constrain it to a circle. Then you can actually press your space bar at the same time and move it into place. Maybe there you go, and then let go. And then you can go over to your text tool, and let's choose a different color here. Let's choose maybe a blue, and the 50 font. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then we'll just go ahead and click here, and you'll notice how your cursor changes, and then type. So we're going to type anywhere, anytime, Boeing. Okay, and then we're going to commit it. And there we have it. We go to the path panel. By the way, if you don't have the path panel, window, path. If you don't see a lot of your panels, you can always go to the window menu and you can usually find them there. Click off and your path is gone. There you have it. What's great, it's on a separate layer, so now you can use the move tool and you can move this around if you want. If you're not happy with it, you can go back to the path panel there. You can select your direct selection tool, if I'm right. Yeah, direct selection tool, and you can click on this and you can change the size, so you can move this in and out. You don't have to accept this circle yet. You can actually move it out if you want, and that will move it out. Let me Control Z to move that back and click away. Another thing that you can do is you can see the menu, the I-beam here changes to do two different directions. See how it goes one way and then goes the other way? So if I move this way, watch what happens. The words go inside the path. And if I move it this way, oops, gotta be careful, this is tricky. Move it out. See what I mean? It gets tricky, I tell you. There you go. And then you can move it up and around. So if you're not happy with the top portion, you can move it around until you're liking. So let me just move it a little bit here. Okay, whoops. Gets tricky, I tell you. See, there's two. It's kind of hard to see in this photo, but there's two. There's one that will move it, and the other one that will hide areas. So sometimes you can accidentally select one or the other. So it does get a little tricky. All right. Now I think that this looks maybe a little bit tacky. So I'm going to click away. Click off of the path first. I'm going to go back to the layers panel. And then I'm going to go to the fill because this layer is active, which is the text layer as we see here. We could have made a better circle. In fact, we should. We should make this a little bit higher. And I would definitely have moved it around, but just for sakes, let's take the fill all the way to 0. We learned about this in a previous lesson. I'm going to double click on the layer, which will open up the layer styles. Click on the drop shadow. And I think that looks just a hair bit better. Wait, let me move it up. Of course, it would be better if it was a better circle. And then conform a little bit better to how this circle is. But anyways, it looks a little bit better than it was before. So this is what you can do with text on a path. And just think, we just did with the pen tool and with a simple shape layer. So you can imagine what you can do with the pen tool, where you can draw any shape. And when custom shapes already have shapes defined. So in the next lesson, we're going to talk about warping text and clipping text.